In this section, we'll talk about how an organization's mission, values, and culture can drive an organization and their approach. To be strategic, we want to build or maintain a good fit between our organization and the changing world to better achieve our mission, our common purpose. But, well, what is our purpose? How shall we approach this problem? And so there we have our mission, values, and culture to guide us. So, the book reminds you that these are the three major elements that drive the organization and how they approach problems and opportunities. First, there are those core values. These are principles that guide an organization. So firms may all care about profit for the most part, but some will always at their heart want to stress do no harm or with a smile. So here's an example of Zappos' core values, and another, Dow Chemical. And so I have the links here and in your notes, but you can compare how do they display them, how are they written. And if you notice at the first, they are actually displayed. The second element that guides strategy is the organizational culture, their set of ideas, values, attitudes, and norms of behavior. This is how the organization actually lives through achieving its mission. This includes anything from who or how you tend to report someone. Are there open door policies? Is there an environmental form anyone can put in? Are there incentives to not share because the lowest ranked are systematically laid off? What management titles? During an all-hands meeting, does the CEO answer questions from the rank and file? Or are the questions strongly vetted and pre-selected, if any? So for example, Google uses peer bonuses to promote a culture that is both communal and encourages the individual worker to take initiative. Basically, there's a pool of money where anyone in the company can reward another person with a check and a public thumbs up. And these, you can imagine, are harder to list on a website than, say, those core values. Here's the thing, though. Core values and organizational culture may not always match. Even if you state you have a certain set of core values, but you have new policies that encourage other values, that will change your organizational culture. Finally, the third major driver of an organization and how it approaches its mission is, of course, the mission statement itself. The actual statement that declares the organization's functions to society. So to start, Dow Chemical's ambition statement, as they call it, is become the most innovative, customer-centric, inclusive, and sustainable material sciences company in the world. So, innovative, customer-centric, inclusive, and sustainable materials science company in the world. And so with that, let's dive deeper into business missions. But what is our mission? Business missions are important because they encourage us to actually define what business we're actually in. And this may seem simple. However, it's much better to think about the underlying industry or market sector we're in. What value do we actually trade in? This makes it easier for us to anticipate and manage change. So keep in mind when we say business, this applies to any organization. So technically, a nonprofit isn't a quote, quote, business, but they can still outline their underlying purpose. So why do we use business missions? Well, a major issue with organizations is that we lose the connection between what we're good at and who we should actually aim to serve. The business definition is meant to clarify and communicate our purpose. This acts as a uniting force to our many marketing strategies, or any strategies for that matter. So, knowing our business lets us build mission statements that guide and galvanize those in the organization and various stakeholders by stressing what is our value, to who, how so. In effect, businesses, or rather business missions, provide focus. And all organizations often have some kind of mission, nonprofits included. For example, someone's statement could be, "We love the arts." Well, what kind of arts? Who's we? Is it art appreciators, art makers, services for artists? Everyone could have the potential for having, basically, everyone could use a bit of focus. So, nonprofits often have longer missions than businesses. They are especially important as a communication and coordination tool. So, as a quick activity, notice what kinds of directions these missions send. So you can take a look at the video if you want, or I encourage you to especially go browse the mission statement for a non-business organization you know about. For example, I have some here from the Metropolitan Museum of Art and another from our own local LA Zoo. So the Metropolitan Museum of Art, their short about us is, "The Met presents over 5,000 years of art from around the world for everyone to enjoy, the experience and enjoy." And their mission adds, "The Metropolitan Museum of Art collects, studies, conserves, and presents significant works of art across time and cultures in order to connect all people to creativity, knowledge, ideas, and one another." And in fact, the one another is a new addition. Can't quite tell if it was due to COVID or just a timely, eerie coincidence. And then from our LA Zoo, their mission statement is to serve the community. The Los Angeles Zoo will create an environment for recreation and discovery, inspire an appreciation of wildlife through exhibitry and education, ensure the highest level of animal welfare, and support programs that preserve biodiversity and conserve natural habitat. So, in sum, mission statements may vary in the forms they take based on what's the norm for the organization. However, you can see how these also guide and galvanize the organization and various stakeholders. So, what makes a good mission statement? Well, we have a sense that, of course, it should go beyond for profit, nonprofit, or we make this tangible good. You want to focus on the market benefits. The mission statement is usually centered on the type of value, here's that word, value, you provide to present and potential customers in the environment in which you operate. You need to define both that value and the customer, because the value you provide is relative to that customer, or customer. So basically, customers value things differently, so you have to adjust for that. For example, each car company provides cars, but you need to think of driving experience and types of customers, not just the features of the car itself. So focusing on value keeps you flexible with those market trends. If you stick with product, companies can lose sight of what they were helping their customers do or feel in the first place. So remember, a good mission statement then guides and galvanizes the organization. Yes, your customers, but your organization and its partners especially. This is not just a slogan or something that needs to necessarily be slapped on customer bags and napkins. That being said, many organizations do use their mission sections to build their brand to the public. Ultimately, those mission statements should make the mission manageable. Your target market should not be everyone who breathes or everyone with a dog. It is a specific group you need, or rather, it's a specific group in need of a specific benefit that you are ready to and can cater to. If it's too narrow, you're no longer very flexible and you may miss opportunities. A mission that's too big, it's hard to target, then everyone's your competitor. So it's good to define or revisit your business mission as a way to check your strategies. Organizations tend to get caught up on their products or operations, and returning back to that campus directories publisher example I gave you in the past, they overly focused on publisher of ad space, a paper publisher of ad space to boot, versus focusing on the ways they connect local businesses to customers. Another classic example we like to use, train companies. It's not the type of train, it's how they transport people, moving people and stuff from point A to point B, or goods too. Example, here. How many of you recognize these? So, Rovio and Angry Birds. Rovio is best known for their mobile game called Angry Birds. For a time, they stressed they were not simply a game company. They aspired to be a media content company. Similar to how Disney trades in their characters like Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. As late as fall 2017, this was how they described themselves in their About Us. Rovio Entertainment is a global entertainment media company. Headquartered in Finland with studios across the world, Rovio is the creator of Angry Birds, the casual mobile game that changed an industry and became an international phenomenon. Today, Angry Birds is not only the most downloaded game of all time, it is a renowned entertainment brand that has branched out into animation, books, licensing, and more. The Angry Birds movie is slated for release in summer 2016. That was fall 2017. Global entertainment media company. So less about games, more about merchandise content, from stuffed toys to pajamas to cartoons and movies. It was evident they've done some soul searching since they've since updated that About Us. So who we are as of fall 2022. Rovio Entertainment Corporation is a global mobile first games company that creates, develops, and publishes mobile games, as well as licenses the Angry Birds brand for consumer products, movies, animations, and other entertainment. So, and now they also have a mission statement to boot. They say Rovio's mission is to craft joy with player-focused gaming experiences that last for decades. So their webpage actually nicely lays out their marketing strategy now. I kind of feel like they must have gotten wind that us marketing educators were using them in class and got help. That phrasing, though, is very eerily similar with a mission about that lasts for decades. A past mentor I had used to say that for Disney. So in sum, defining the business your organization is in is very important in helping you better select what goals you have and how you should accomplish them. They provide focus. Defining your business provides focus. Good missions will reflect your approach and guide the way forward based on what you do well. So to wrap up, let's craft a business mission for ourselves. So here's some steps to creating a business mission. So your goal, a statement that declares our business purpose that can guide and galvanize our organization. So first, you brainstorm all the different ideas or associations behind the brand, what you do, your approach. Lots and lots of stuff. Then it helps to cluster ideas together. Look for themes for what's, who's, how's, when's, and why's. Then write out some missions. Repeat steps 1 and 2 often. Then check. Does this guide and galvanize? Or is it just a slogan? Don't be just a slogan. And experiment with different words, lengths, etc. Continue to keep jumping around the steps. In effect, we will want our mission statement to focus on the consumers and the needs that we fulfill. We can consider the products, but just as a stepping stone, okay? So instead, consider what do we enable customers to do and how will our organization do this? What flavor of business are we in? Are we fun? Are we friendly? Are we stoic? You can consider how many restaurants there are, even within something like a particular food category. Why? Well, they all offer a slightly different mix and sense of how they are serving you. A burrito is not just a burrito. So here are a few brands, and you can think about their core benefits. What is it that firms do? So don't cheat and go on their websites just yet to see what they said. But here's Disney, Google, and Nike. So we'll go with Nike, since many of you tend to be familiar with this brand, and think about it. Start writing all the words, pictures, or ideas that come to mind. Go on. Feel free to pause me. Okay, hopefully you paused me for a little bit. So here's an example of mine. So things like the swoosh, the shoes, Air Jordans, success, achievement, breathing, attainment, drive, clothes, earbuds, orange boxes. You'll likely have plenty of words. Now let's try to cluster together. And this, when you cluster together all these words, more ideas will probably spring to mind, and that's a good thing. So here's some clusters. So I did, for example, products. So Air Jordan, shoes, earbuds, apparel. Customers, kids to adults, like sports, sneakerheads. Some of the images and associations, like the swoosh, the way the retail store is, all the spokespeople that are athletes. And this one came up, how they make you feel or why someone might like them. Attainment, achievement, success, sweat. Notice how you quickly see Nike is more than its shoes. In fact, if Nike only stuck to shoes, they would not be the mega corporation they are today. Instead, they focus on particular needs. So next, consider what types of mission you would say Nike is. What would you say they aim to do? Who do they aim to help? By doing what? How? Go ahead and think. Okay, I hope you paused me for a little bit and made a few statements. A good start might be something like, oh, they promote an active lifestyle. And then maybe dig deeper. Maybe empowering people to push their limits. Notice how it's limits. And speaking of limits, this limits what your competitors are. It shows how you want to make challenges stylish. So you're not just any athletic apparel company. You aim to help your customers feel a particular way. And I particularly like this one from Valerie Shepard, marketing specialist. Making weekend warrior athletes feel like superstars so they can be their best athletic selves. Notice how it stresses a particular kind of athlete and what they should do and feel. Notice how it's not just, we make shoes. It stresses what kind of value Nike brings and how they do it. And so now, here is from Nike's website. Our mission to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. And if you have a body, you are an athlete. When I first found this, I love how they used all caps as a part of brand expression. Again, Nike's emphasis is not just they make shoes, but they make particular products for particular kinds of people. Athletes in need of inspiration and innovation. If you click on the link, they have fast-moving pictures of people and settings that exemplify the brand ethos. So here we are on Nike's webpage, and again, here's that mission statement, but they have a more expanded one. So they have ones for employees. You'll notice here at the top, they've got stories. They have a separate impact statement. Our purpose is to move forward or move the world forward, take action by building community, protecting our planet, increasing access to sport. They have a separate one for the company about their products and some of their major sensibilities for what they want to do. So if you want, please feel free to keep going. I have ones for Disney and Google below. Disney is fun because they've made a lot of changes to their mission over the past years, and Google is always interesting because of their product portfolio. And so for your upcoming discussion board, for discussion board number 2, that is, do not choose Nike, Google, or Walt Disney, because that wouldn't be very fun just to hear a repeat of what challenge of, what we've just done here. What challenge would that be to you? Anyway, to sum up the section, one of the best ways to practice is to make your own and to experiment. So again, start with that large sheet of paper and write everything you know or can think of about a company. And start clustering ideas, hone in on some particulars toward people, what we provide in this particular way. Take a look at others' business missions. See what works for them. Remember that this often takes time to play around with a mission. And so go ahead, whether you take a look at Disney and Google below in the notes, or browse the site you know, or perhaps think of one for someone who could benefit. Well, with that, hope you're all taking care. Have a good day. And remember, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. The next slide section will go over goals and setting the strategic direction. And so, take care.